When I began the race for mayor in Jersey City, I was at 1.5% in the polls. But we won there. We won 2 re-elections. One of them by 69%, the largest margin in history. Another by... What that shows you is that a message of empowering the people will win wherever we take it. They said it couldn't be done, but you did it, didn't you? They said we couldn't win, and we did win. And we will win in November because we still believe. It matters that you give the people the lower taxes they deserve. It matters that you give people the educational opportunities that they deserve. It matters that you make government work for the people. And if you do, they will be there for you.
Don't ever tell Bret Schundler it can't be done. He'll prove you wrong. Bret's always looked at life's challenges as adventures, and he's always exceeded expectations. That's just who he is and how he was raised. He's the youngest of 9 children and grew up in Westfield. Bret showed courage early on the football field and was talented enough to make New Jersey All-State. Later, he graduated with honors from Harvard. But it was Bret's father who taught him that embracing life's challenges was not enough. That true courage comes from standing up for what you believe and fighting not just to make a point, but to make a difference.
My dad always used to say that the good fight is the good life. It's not that we're going to get to a perfect place, but we can spend our lives trying to do something that's worthwhile, and that is a perfect life.
The perfect life. In 1985, it was far from the grasp of the many struggling families in New Jersey's inner cities. And that's why, even though he was working on Wall Street and could have lived anywhere, Bret and his new wife Lynn chose to live in Jersey City. They'd taken Bret's father's advice to heart and set out to make a difference, but it would not be easy.
There's a street by our house called Christopher Columbus Drive, and one of our earliest nights we were walking down the street, and there was an older man sitting on his stoop with a baseball bat in his hand. And I remember we were thinking like, uh-oh, what have we done? Where have we moved into?
You had soaring unemployment, taxes gone so high that people couldn't afford to pay. In my neighborhood, you had almost 1/3 of the people who were in default on their taxes, and they were at risk of the city foreclosing and taking their homes. People should not have to live in a society which is that decayed, but our government was so corrupt that rather than trying to address these problems seriously, it seemed to me what they were trying to do is take as much money as they could from the people before they'd be turned out of office.
Bret and Lynn worked to make life better for their neighbors. They led property tax rallies and ran their church's homeless shelter and food pantry.
For Bret, it's doing the best that you can do with every moment that you have. Not necessarily to be something, not to be the governor or to be the mayor or to be the CEO of a company, but to fight the good fight. And he saw a city that could be better. And he thought, well, I'm going to do whatever I can to make that a better place.
And ultimately, I ended up running for mayor. But it wasn't something that I ever planned to do. It was something that came along as an opportunity to try to get some ideas on the table. And it just so happens that I won.
Being elected in this overwhelmingly Democrat city was surprising, even for Bret. But for him and Lynn, it was another chance to make a difference, this time on a large scale.
I think people had this idea that there's a rebirth in Jersey City, that the old politics and the old political system was dead and something new was going to happen. It was very exciting, but it was also kind of scary because you think, okay, now you got to do something.
I knew that if we were going to end all the abuse, all the corruption, and all the patronage, that I needed the help of the people. And they did help, and we were able to start making this city actually work for the people. And what always will surprise you, if you allow yourselves to trust in it, is the power of the people when they've been asked to get involved.
The new Jersey City is a testament to the power of the people and the tenacity of Bret Schundler. Thanks to his innovative reforms, that city is reborn.
Today, property taxes are still lower than they were 10 years ago. We even got to a place where for 5 months We didn't have to bill people for municipal property taxes at all.
Bret got guns off the streets. Crime is down 40%, and Jersey City neighborhoods are safer than they have been in decades.
We were able to get our sewer and water rates way down. You have people who are working. You have people who are getting affordable housing.
Jersey City school children now have excellent new public schools that cost state and local taxpayers nothing to build, where classes are small, teachers are accountable, and parents are involved.
We have more construction of office space taking place in the city now than anywhere else in the country.
75% of the NASDAQ is now traded in Jersey City, and there are tens of thousands of great new jobs.
We were able to do all those things while spending less money because we changed the way government works. We can do that in Trenton. I want to be able to pry power out of the hands of the patronage interests down there and the special interests. I want to be able to work with the people so that we're in control together in reforming our government, making it work for the people.
Change the way government works. Find better ways to do things for less. Make government work for the people. That's Bret Schundler's vision for New Jersey.
Try to see what I see. I see the possibility of a state where you have much better public schools. What we need to do is get money out of the bureaucracy, get it into the classroom, so we can actually have smaller class sizes and pay teachers more with the money we're already spending. We have to have accountability, whether you're talking about the teacher, the principal, or for that matter, the school board. And we ought to also make sure that before children graduate with a diploma, they actually do have the essentials to be successful in life. Imagine a state where you don't have sprawl getting worse and worse and worse, and congestion on our roads, but where you have green open spaces, where small towns are able to maintain control of their own growth and make decisions for themselves what they want. Imagine a state where you have revitalized cities. And even in the lowest income neighborhoods, you have great schools and low crime, and you have jobs, so people are able to work and take care of their families. Imagine a state where we were able to make our streets safer, and violent crime is way down. That's what we did in Jersey City. We were able to come up with innovative ways to get property taxes down, even as we got more cops on the street and lowered violent crime. Imagine a state where when you're driving from the city to the countryside, you don't have to stop every 10 miles to pay a parkway toll. We can take those tolls down. We don't have to raise some other tax. When I'm elected, we're going to have those tolls down before the end of the year. And I'm going to be the guy who's first in line with the sledgehammer. We can get all of that. And we can do all of it while lowering property taxes. It just means that you have to be willing to say no to all those special interests that want more of the people's money. Frankly, it means I'm going to have to go not just and say no to all the Democrats who want to spend more money, but I'm going to have to say no to the Republicans too. And I'm going to have to be willing to keep the money that we've got coming in available so we can give it to municipalities and school districts, and they can use it to lower the amount of money they have to take from property taxpayers. We can do it all. We simply have to have the courage to think creatively. When the people come to actually believe in you, because they know you, they've worked with you, and they trust that you're out there to work with them to do the right thing, there's almost nothing you can't accomplish. You can break down any walls that stand in the way. We did that here in Jersey City. We were able to do that in this last primary election. And I'm convinced that we can do that in Trenton across the state. Problems that have seemed they were impossible to solve, we can solve them if we just have the courage to do what's right.
Innovative ideas, incomparable spirit, undaunted courage. They are the hallmarks of Bret Schundler's life. Don't tell him that you can't make New Jersey a better place for our families. He'll just prove you wrong.
You know, when you take on tough fights, it's always possible you can lose. Well, then what would be so bad about having tried to make a positive difference and lost? It's not the worst thing in the world. But if you're willing to fight, if you're willing to do what's right with people helping you, you know, you just may win. And you just may make a lot of people's lives better. And what can be more satisfying than that?
Bret Schundler, the courageous reformer we need as governor.
He's just genuine and pure and real. And he's a good man.